Hey friends, how's it going? My name's Dave Kuto. I am an audio editor and podcast post producer, and I just thought I'd do a fun, quick little guide on how to use LOADES from Analog Obsession as their De-Esser. I've got a whole list of De-Essers here, as you can see, as well as a multiband compressor and a dynamic EQ. These are all tools that you can use for de-essing. I've fiddled around with various of them, but my favorite at the moment is this very cool little thing from Analog Obsession. Analog Obsession is a very cool company. They basically produce all this stuff for free. It's available on their Patreon, which I'll link below. Although everything is, as I say, free, you can download it straight off the Patreon without signing up. But if you had a little bit of extra money to throw their way, I'm sure they would appreciate it because they definitely do deserve it. So what I've done is I've recorded myself. Oh, one thing I should point out, this little microphone here. This is the Samson Q2U. It is a very popular recommendation for a beginner's USB mic for podcasters. It's a dynamic mic, so it doesn't pick up a lot of background. Yeah, I'm using it in a basically untreated space, and I get very little reverb as long as I'm reasonably close to it, and almost no background noise and stuff like that. It's highly recommended. Fantastic mic, but it does have a bit of a weakness in that the sibilance on it is quite bad. So this is a common problem you'll find in beginner podcasters, everyone using this little microphone. And also just generally when language makes these horrible noises. So you use a de-esser to cut the essing or the sibilance, and that's what all these tools are for. And my current favorite is, as I say, is this one from Analog Obsession. So I recorded this little example of the worst possible case scenario of a sentence that's completely full of sibilance. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Now, you're never going to get a sentence quite that bad. But I've done some recordings where people seem to love throwing in the S's because I do readings on my own podcast. So I think authors love to throw sibilance in because it sounds nice in the head. It doesn't sound so nice when you're listening to it, though. So now you can't completely get rid of the sibilance because obviously you need it to sound like what it is. And a weird thing that happens when you squeeze too much sibilance out. This is sibilance by Waves. It's a very popular one. I got it for free, actually. A piece of advice I can give you, sign up for newsletters for everything because audio software goes out in freebies all the time. So now I've put sibilance on at its highest possible setting. The threshold there is 80 dB, so it'll take out almost all the sibilance, and you'll notice a weird thing. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. You'll have noticed that it does a weird sort of lisp thing when you take all the high frequency energy out. If you completely strip out the S's, it becomes distracting in a whole new way. So what you do, obviously, in this case, you turn that threshold down. You don't take quite as much out. But I'm not super wild about this tool. I used it for quite a while, and it gives it has a sort of unnatural sound. And then I discovered this while I was actually looking for something else, for a LA2A type compressor, which is a very cool thing for voice, and I'll talk about that one day. So what is cool about LOADES? Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. It's got a sort of more natural sound. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally. Now, obviously, that's far too much that I took out there. But it's just an example. Okay, firstly, it only takes 60 dBs out as opposed to 80 that sibilance does. But the whole thing also has a slightly more natural sound. I think it's got a more regular EQ curve that takes some of the sound out of it, but it makes it a little bit less jarring. So the way I use loads is... Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. You'll see the needle's not doing anything. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Now, the other cool thing about Loads as well is it's got this mix knob. Now, if you've worked with audio stuff before, you know wet and dry means wet is the whole of this effect, and dry is if you took the effect out completely. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. So you can hear Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. A little bit of the dry signal. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. Now, obviously, you got to Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. So it'll depend on the user. Sadly, Sam sold 7 venomous serpents to Sally and Cyrus in San Francisco. It's done me well for a good few years. It is a sibilant little mic, and this is something that you need to adjust to. So anyway, that was just my little quick and dirty guide on using Loads from Analog Obsession for de-essing and sibilance control. Hope you found it useful. And my name's Dave Q2U, and we'll chat again soon.